Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to my presentation. To the honorable lecturer, Professor Dr. Masadi Said MPD, and all of the audiences. My name is Syafira Dyanti. I am a student and the Master of Education in English Language Teaching at Indraprastha PGRI University. This video presentation is submitted individually as my fulfillment for academic speaking for Scientific Purposes Midterm Examination. The title of this presentation is Analyzing the Audience by Stephen E. Lucas. The purpose of the presentation is to demonstrate that effective public speaking is fundamental a process of continuous adaptation for the listener, rather than just a one-way delivery information. Today, I will walk through the comprehensive frameworks required to truly analyze and connect with an audience. To guide us through the topic, here is our agenda for today. We will cover about audience-centeredness and how to treating your classmate as an audience, the psychology of audiences, demographic audience analysis, situational audience analysis, how to getting information about the audience, and the last one, adapting to the audience. Let us begin with the core philosophy of public speaking, that is audience-centeredness. Good speakers know that a speech is not an opportunity to browbeat the audience or to blow off steam. Rather, it is to gain a desired response from listeners. How to reach that goal? The first thing to do is keeping the audience foremost every step of speech preparation and presentation. Second, keep these essential questions in mind during the speech. To whom am I speak? What do I know, believe, or do as a result of my speech? What is the most effective way to accomplish that aim? Since we are presenting in university setting, there is a tendency to view the classroom as an artificial environment. Speech in the class is a testing ground where you can develop your communication skills before applying your students outside the classroom. The most serious measure of success or failures is your grade. Each person in this room has real ideas, attitudes, and feelings. The best classroom speeches are those that take the listeners just as seriously as politician, as a lawyer, and minister that takes theirs. Now, look at the psychology of audience. Even when people pay attention, they do not process what a speaker's message exactly as intended. Every speech always contains with two messages, one sent by speaker, one received by listener. This happens because listeners always filter everything through their own frame or reference. Human beings are inherently egocentric. It means audiences pay closest attention to messages that affect their own values, beliefs, and well-being. Therefore, as speakers, we cannot just state facts. We must create explicit relevance by relating our message directly to the listeners, so they should care about the topic. Next topic is demographic audience analysis. How do we map out our audience characteristics? First, identify the general demographic features of our audiences. Second, gauge the importance of those features to the specific speaking situation. Third, a critical rule here is avoid stereotyping. Stereotyping means creating image of a particular group by assuming all members are exactly alike. These are major of demographic audience analysis variables. First, age influences a person's worldview, historical context, and life experience. Second, religion, one of the most emotionally charged and deeply sensitive areas. We have to carefully if we want to talk about religion or religious orientation to avoid pitfalls. Third, cultural background. Racial and ethnic backgrounds deeply shape attitudes toward topic. We must gauge these unique cultural perspectives to make our remarks as clear, suitable, and convincing as possible. Fourth, identity and affiliation. Recognizing the diversity of gender identities and sexual orientations to avoid language that inadvertently excludes or alienates listeners. The last one is group membership. Organizational and professional affiliations offer strong clues regarding your audience's shared interests and values. We arrive at situational audience analysis, which identifies traits unique to the specific speaking situation at hand. The first thing we have to analyze is audience size. The larger the audience, the more formal your presentation structure and delivery should be. The second, physical setting. Always inspect the venue, lighting, and temperature beforehand to avoid bad delivery during speech. Fourth, disposition toward topic. Assess interest, knowledge, and attitude. If interest is low, use an arresting introduction, dynamic delivery, or visuals to get them involved. If knowledge is low, adapt your language. If they hold a skeptical attitude, adjust your arguments to address concerns and answer objections. The last is disposition toward speaker and occasion. Strictly follow time constraints and match the tone of your topic to the expectations of the event. Listeners respond positively when they perceive competence and feel the speaker has their best interest at the heart. To gather precise data from an audience, we can utilize tailored questionnaires featuring three major question types. The first, fixed alternative that provides clear limited choices. For the example, yes or no. The second, question type is scale that allows participants to express the strength of conviction and the example scale of 1 until 5. And the last type of question, open-ended, that offers maximum freedom for respondents to give detailed answers. The principle to getting information about audience, keep them brief, clear, and completely unambiguous. The ultimate task of audience analysis is adaptation. This process unfolds across two major stages. The first, adaptation before the speech, and the second, adaptation during the speech. Before the speech, we have to put ourselves in the shoes of our listeners and anticipate how they will react to each point we plan to make. And we also modify and polish our core message so that it stands as clearly, appropriately, and convincingly as possible for that specific target group. And during the speech, we have to monitor audience body language as a feedback. If we notice nods, suggest agreement, and if we notice frowns, reveal confusion, and we have to re-explain our points. Contingency. If our time gets unexpectedly cut short, compress our materials to the most essential points immediately. And we have to modify introduction or visual if live logistic change on the day of presentation, and we have to have flexibility. The conclusion is, true public speaking mastery is achieved when data-driven demographic preparation meets real-time situational flexibility. By adapting your message to their world, you transform a one-way speech to an impactful shared connection. That's all from my presentation. May this is useful for all of us. And thank you for Prof. Masadi for all your support and guidance. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.